coming. Sorry we made you wait. We were testing some stuff because we're filming this tonight. This is our last show. We've been a silly comedy band in Chicago for 5 years, and but I want to be an astronaut, and I'm not gonna. I'm going after that.
We were literally holding him back to the gravity. So we're gonna get started. This first song, a lot of you may have heard. If anyone just wandered in, it will tell you everything you need to know about us.
Three people, one guitar. What the hell are we about to see? We'll make parody songs, I know. No, we won't. Give us some credit. We do music and comedy, but we don't say music comedy because that sounds lame. You might be thinking, can they sing? Well, here's your answer. Kind of. Now it's time to introduce ourselves. Let's get all personal and deep. Shockey, 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 Shockey.
My name's Tim, and I'm kinda tense. So I don't really dance much, but I always pump this leg. I'm kinda shy, so after the show, I might not say hi to you, but just know that that's a me thing. Woo!
My name's Tyler. I play guitar.
These two cannot do the show without me. I'm told you should eat more. Well, I'm sorry, but this is what a perfect man looks like.
My name's Sarah. I'm the girl. I write songs that have trouble because I use too many syllables. Yeah. Some people like to say I'm over the top. What does that even
Three people, one guitar. We are Shockey.
I didn't know anybody. I just moved to Chicago, and I started trying to swap into other classes, like miss my class, just to meet as many people as possible. And I met Tyler. Tim wasn't there that day, but I met Tim shortly after. Like, our classes were doing shows together. And then when everything ended, people were like grabbing for stage time. And Tyler got a midnight slot on Fridays doing a sketch show about what if we sold America to all these other countries.
To pay off the debt that America has. Like, what would life then be like?
Just new comedy.
You know.
And we did the run of shows, and there's a sketch where Tyler brought his guitar in, and I started grilling him to be like, oh, what else can you play? Can you play this? Can you play this? And like, he could. He's really good at it. And so I had been wanting to do stuff with music and comedy forever, but I didn't play an instrument. So I asked Tyler if he was interested, and then we pulled Tim in because I just thought Tim was particularly funny.
I'm still hired help, technically.
He gets 33% less off the pitch.
Thank
Oh
you
my
guys.
goodness.
Oh boy.
This is like the nicest audience we've ever had.
We were sitting backstage. All we had to do was quit, and we get this sweet audience.
We're gonna do 5 more goodbye shows.
So for this next one, this is fun because I can reveal a little bit more about sort of the genesis of this song. I was really worried this girl was going to be here tonight.
As far as we know, she's
Not here, I think.
But even if she is, like, you're about to go on a boat for 4 months.
Yeah, whatever. So about a year ago, I went to these friends' wedding. wedding, and when the few days leading up to it, this ex-girlfriend of mine was sending me some kind of romantic texts, things like music is reminding me of you everywhere I go, and things of this nature. And then I showed up, and she had a boyfriend there at the wedding. So I wrote this song. Here we go.
So this weather's like super weird because I don't know if it's fall still or like what's going on or whatever, and it just like sucks. And it makes me want to do something no one else has ever done before, like travel. Like I want to go to France, I want to go to England, I want to go to Germany, Greece, yes, Turkey, no, Italy, yes, Spain, no.
She wants to see the world, but only the white parts. She has an adventurer spirit, but she lives in a gated community.
Like I just have this dream in my heart that I can teach English in a foreign country, like Ireland. Because I feel like the main reason everybody doesn't get equal amounts to eat is because we don't all speak the same language. So if everyone could learn like a little English, like water please, or can I have a hamburger, or even can I share half your Thai leftovers? I'd be like, yeah, because I always order too much. And like if everyone in the world could join hands and look into each other's eyes and finally understand and respect one another's differences, it would be amazing. And I don't want to push it too far, but we could worship Christ.
She wants to see the world, but only the white parts. She's honest to God, very sweet, but she sometimes says those people won't go to India.
I don't understand those like wraparound style clothes. Like is there a zipper or like
She won't go to Egypt.
that country has a history of war, but I would love to go to Germany.
She won't go to Africa.
I just feel like I need to see Roots first, and it's not on Netflix right now, so I can't.
She won't go to South America.
No.
She'll go anywhere
Anywhere in the
like nowhere
entire
in South
continent?
America.
Well, it's just like I don't think so.
She wants to see the world, but only the white parts. She kind of likes culture. She just really likes hotels.
Also, sweet potato fries are better for you than regular ones.
And the thing that I value the most about the Shocktees is the humaneness, the humanity in their comedy. It really seems like they take the old write what you know to heart, and I mean that in at least two ways, where they wouldn't venture to condemn or make light of the perspective or experiences of a person that they don't understand. They only rip on themselves and people a lot like them. And it gives it this grounded, lovely honesty that I think is rare, and especially because they have so many songs. It's remarkable that they manage to be so real and genuine in so many of them.
This audience, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise if you've ever suffered from anxiety. Now make some noise if you've ever worried about dying alone. Oh, folks, this song is for you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you wanna date us? Yeah, you wanna date us. Do you wanna date us? Yeah, you wanna date us.
We've had panic attacks, or passed out in a record store.
I'm passed out in a bathtub.
I tried to kiss a stranger cause I thought I was gonna die.
I can't watch people puke.
I can't Google cancer. I can't read books where people break their thumbs.
Do you wanna date us? Yeah, you wanna date us. We've had panic attacks. Do you wanna date us? Yeah, you wanna date us. We've had panic attacks.
Well, I only pray on airplanes. When I drink, I have bad dreams.
I keep track of bathrooms in
you wet. Oh! So you think you wanna date us? Here's some stuff that we're afraid of. Whales!
Old hands!
Choosing to go to grad school. Snakes. Old cats with droopy eyes. Pregnancy. Being a dad.
Having a baby!
Ball stuff. Yup. Street gangs.
People thinking that I'm fat!
But she's not fast. No, she's not fast. She always asks, but she's not fast.
Do you wanna date us? Yeah, you wanna date us? We've had panic attacks. Do you wanna date us? Yeah, you wanna date us? We've had panic attacks. And we're kind of good at sex.
Matt and Amy, because that's like the pretty, like, it's like so beautiful and you find yourself singing it. Also, whisper fights is like the best piece of truth. Like, we've all been there. Yeah, I've had a lot of porch whisper fights.
This next line has made some friend of ours uncomfortable.
When we first started doing it, we were doing it for mostly rooms of like 23 to 26-year-old improvisers who just like would grip their girlfriend's hands tightly.
We also, I don't know if you guys remember this, when I originally pitched this song, we how our process works is we like bring in something we want to cover, and then Sarah with my pitches will usually go, hey, that's a little dark, Tim. Can we, So my original pitch was having a child is not an accomplishment. I mean, like having a good kid is an accomplishment, but anybody can get pregnant. That's not a big deal.
I just wish we had saved like a list of Tim's pitches that me and Tyler were like,
but it turned into this, and it's one of my favorites. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Matt and Amy had dated for 3 years. They lived together, and it was okay. They had cute nicknames for each other.
like moron.
And bad at stories.
They went to all the best parties and had whisper fights in the kitchen. And as things got worse and worse, there was only one thing to do. They got married to prove things were fine. They got married because they were 29. Matt and Amy were married for 1 year, and they watched a lot of movies. They bought a Cocker Spaniel and took it on lots of angry walks.
Amy sleeps in the guest room.
Which is normal. Totally normal.
They looked real hard at who they'd become, and they did the right thing. They had a baby. 'Cause babies are fun. Because they were 31. As their lives became piano recitals and fighting at Six Flags.
So they looked to the future. They got cryogenically frozen. Cause why the fuck not?
Frozen. And in Earth year 2159, they started seeing other people.
I feel like that was still just like a musical bit for Sarah to bully me.
Well, and it's also like, if Tim doesn't want to do something, like, you can 1,000% see on his face.
It's
So
true.
it's just me being like,
It really is.
no, and Tim just being like, woo. With like murder in his eyes. So that one never made it to air. Another one that never made it to air was Do the Shock Tease that I was like really pushing for, which is like we all do like a dance, a Do the Shock Tease, oh my god, and they both like out like trying to leave to go to a gig. They were both blocking the door, being like, we can't do the Shock Tease. And I was like, well, I don't see a problem with it, but okay, I guess it's 2 against 1. Which has won a lot of the.
It really has.
Like, 2 against 1 always, that's how you solve problems in a 3-person company.
There was one time where one did trump 2, and rightfully so. We tried to write a country song about Pokemon.
Yeah.
And Sarah and I were really gung ho, and Tim was like, I'm gonna blackball this, and then say no. And thank goodness he did, because there was nothing behind it aside from we just wanted to list Pokemon.
It is I, Satan, Lord of the Underworld, Emperor of the Dead. I challenge you, William Tyler Paterson, to a guitar duel for your soul.
Alright.
You go first, because you're mortal and have very little chance of surviving against my demonic skills. Now play!
Alright, cool. So we'll go like standard gallop in E minor till one of us messes up.
Yeah. I think it's out of 2.
No, that means I win!
Play your G.
No, I'm not. That means I win the guitar duel, Satan.
No, I'm just getting ready.
You can't just get ready.
And again. Should I twist it up to get
Yeah,
it
you're
to go
flying
higher?
up. Yeah.
Okay. Who's that guy?
That's Tim. Get back. Let's just finish the duel. We gotta finish the
What was that
show.
last thing that you just played? Look this out.
I was just riffing. That was nothing. That's just
Play it again.
we don't have time to play it again. I can't. We really don't have time for this.
Real quick.
All right.
Awkward.
It's not a chord progression. It's just a riff.
Fingers go on boats. Which fingers go where?
8, 5, open. Just peel off.
Yes. That's cool.
Yeah.
What kind do you take on Mumford & Sons?
On Mumford & Sons? I like it. They brought back like the folk movement. That's pretty cool.
The Killers kind of did that though.
The Killers?
Their last, what album was that?
They have a lot of albums.
When you were young on it?
Oh, Sam's Town.
Sam's Town. That seemed a little folkier.
Yeah, it had like a Springsteen feel.
Cool. Guitar duel.
Oh, thanks.
You're like a guitar hero.
All right.
Who's that girl?
That's Sarah.
Very nice. I like her.
Okay.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen Borat. Yes, as soon as not black.
Black Knot.
Yep, there it is. All right, so we're gonna get back to the show, so I'll see you later, okay?
Hey, love you, my friend.
Satan, ladies and gentlemen.
My favorite song is There She Goes. And I used to want to listen to it at work, so I would search the internet for it, and they have a recording on a Groupon, like an early Groupon mixtape that's like them singing There She Goes live, and it's great, so I would listen to that over and over again at work. And then when we got the mic equipment for the Gallery podcast, I made them come in and test stuff out, and I was like, why don't you guys just sing There She Goes? So I have that as an MP3 that now I listen to whenever I want to, that no one else has a copy of. And it sounds great.
A little while ago, I went through this very terrible breakup, and yes, I did. It was awful, and the people involved know, I'm in this comedy band, and they were like, "How about we don't do a song about this one?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I wrote a kid's book, and read it to you guys. This is a kid's book by Shockey, and that's me. Once upon a time, little Miss Frog lived in the pond, and on sunny days she loved nothing more than hopping from lily pad to lily pad, catching good flies to eat. One day she caught the eye of Mr. Toad, who was a very handsome toad indeed. Little Miss Frog thought he might be too handsome for a little old frog, but maybe that's a self-esteem issue little Miss Frog needs to work on. Mr. Toad pursued her, and they began spending hours together, watching pond movies and eating swamp takeout. Mr. Toad introduced little Miss Frog to his very best friends, Mr. Snail and Mrs. Slug, who were married for 8 years. The four of them became inseparable. They went to pond movies, ate pond burgers, and watched swamp TV every Sunday. One night, Mr. Toad, Mrs. Slug, and Mr. Snail went to a wetlands bar and invited little Miss Frog along. But she couldn't go because she was busy rehearsing with her pond comedy band. She missed out on a big night. Mr. Toad and Mrs. Slug went outside so that Mr. Toad could smoke his swamp cigarettes. One thing led to another, and Mr. Toad and Mrs. Slug began heavily making out. He even had his webby hands on her gross neck in an intimate way. Mr. Snail saw them through the window and came outside as fast as he could and was like, "What the frog is going on? What the frog is going on?" And when neither Toad nor Slug could give an answer, Mr. Snail punched Mr. Toad in the face as hard as a snail could. Then he got in a river cab and headed home because he was very angry. Little Miss Frog was glad she wasn't there because that's a trashy situation. She doesn't involve herself in trash, you guys. Instead of going home with Mr. Snail, Mrs. Slug went to Mr. Toad's house for hours. Little Miss Frog could guess what they were up to because Mr. Toad pretty much only had a lily pad bed, which is pretty sad for a 34-year-old toad. Mr. Toad didn't call Little Miss Frog for days because he didn't want to hear her this sad. I know. Mrs. Slug, on the other hand, kept insisting that she and Little Miss Frog were best friends, and even sent her flowers and called her an amazing gal. Finally, Mr. Toad reached out to Little Miss Frog with pleas that he couldn't live without her, and even told her he loved her for the first time after she broke up with him. This was the most caring thing that Mr. Toad had said to her since he admitted to being her boyfriend when he was drunk. Also, Mrs. Slug is the worst. We can all agree that she is horrible and that it's cool Little Miss Frog doesn't talk to her anymore. In the end, Little Miss Frog went back to her own lily pad, having learned the lesson that maybe toads with shoulder tattoos and without a cell phone are bad news. And so far, Little Miss Frog has lived happily ever after. The end.
finale shows. And there's just this auditorium full of people. It's in the State Theater, and it's like this huge old theater.
Do you think that was the biggest theater we ever played? Probably.
I think so. It felt like it because it was like the most people. Like there were tons of people there, and you could hear the audience just like wanting to like whatever was gonna happen. So it was this moment like right before we went on stage, because on stage it was pretty much a blur. Like it was amazing, it was wonderful. But there's just this moment where we all kind of looked at each other like, this is like, you just know, like this is gonna go really well. And then Tim goes, look, just as a reminder, we're all gonna die someday. Shockey's moment.
Like I can't let it get too jovial. I can't let it.
I'm sorry. Let's do a nice song.
Yeah, this next one's sweet, and it's about somebody we all know. Here we go. Sun comes up, 9:05. He sips coffee at the bank.
He hands the teller a withdrawal slip that he filled out at home.
As he leaves, he twirls his keys. He's headed to Best Buy.
All morning he's been thinking of bringing home a copy of Thor. He's the last guy that buys DVDs. He means you no harm. Be nice to him, please. He's the last guy that buys DVDs. Technology has left him behind.
His new cell phone only has 6 contacts, and he knows all the numbers by heart.
He wishes the borders didn't shut down. It was a great place to sit.
He hates when young men wear those skinny jeans. He blames it on Obama.
Shoots down the highway at a brisk 45. Can't wait to watch some Thor. He's the last guy that buys DVDs. He means you no harm. Be nice to him, please. He's the last guy that buys DVDs. He still pays his bills by mail. He's like Forrest Gump sitting on that bench, telling stories no one wanted to hear. He's like James Bond, he works real hard, but sometimes drinks too much. He's like Rudy putting on that football jersey. His hard work really tipped the scales. Haven't seen that lately, it still holds up. Sean Astin's really underrated. That movie never got an Oscar. Those things are so political. I need to remember that scene at the very end when the team and the crowd were on their feet, cheering like hooray, 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 hooray. It was so good I almost cried. He's the last that buys DVDs. He means no harm. Be nice to him, please. He's the last guy that buys DVDs. He's adorably unaware. This man is my dad.
The Laugh Fest
Yes.
is in Grand Rapids. They have shows all over, big names. They get like Bo Burnham, you know, like tons of other names, but Bo Burnham's my favorite. And they set us up with a show and gave out like free coupon vouchers of just like come to the show.
Just
like,
anybody can
whoever.
come.
And they said it's, you know, like it's more R-rated or like PG-13. This dad like knocked down 3 doors of people being like, don't bring your kids, don't bring your kids, don't bring. So there's this dad with like, you know, kids ranging from probably like 9 to 12, you know, in the audience. And they don't tell us they're announcing us. They don't play any pre-show music. They just say, ladies and gentlemen, the Shockeys, really quietly. And then somebody runs back to the dressing room, knocks on the door, and they're like, get out there! So we go out to this audience who already hates us for like not going out
Haven't
and
even
singing.
seen us.
And then we have to do 45 minutes, which is always too long. And there's a moment where we weren't getting too many reactions. Every time we said something like kind of risque,
On the edge. They look at the kids.
everyone would
Yeah.
look at the kids in the whole audience, and the dad was kind of like, and I was like, well, you chose this. So we do this bit called seance, and sometimes when we're in front of a comedy audience, I'll call out the third time we do the thing, because that'll make it 3, and it gets like a stupid comedy people laugh. For some reason it possessed me to do it during the show, and I'll go, we'll give them one more chance, because that'll be 3! And it was like, you've never heard silence like that. Like nothing, not even a rustle.
Yeah,
Like,
like the absence of noise.
and I will never forget that, because that's, I mean, I'm going to carry that with me for my whole life.
So next one? Sure. Typically before our songs, we don't say the names of our songs, but this is a little bit different. All you need to know about this one is that it's called the Settling Song. Here we go.
I'm not giving up on acting, but I am going to grad school for human resources management.
This next song, it's an old one, but it is one of our favorites to do, and it's more scenic, so we've never been able to record it like on an album, because if you can't see it, it's not a regular
Doesn't make
song.
sense.
So with that, we take you to this suburban.
There's no way around it, Alex. This house is haunted.
It's not haunted. There's a reasonable explanation for all of this.
But you say all of this like there is something.
Yes, there's something going on, but honey, we don't need to move. I can't afford to move us.
I called a medium to help us.
No, we don't need a meeting. Honey, come on.
Because he's just going to come by sometime today, and if it's okay with you, just kind of feel the energies and see if he can come up with a solution.
All right, I know I promised I'd be more open-minded about things, so I mean, I guess it couldn't hurt.
It just got so cold in here.
It got really cold.
Don't worry, children, have no fear. Memoir medium is now here. Together we'll defeat this evil horde. Now place your hands on my magical Ouija board. B-A-L-L-S. Oh, what could it mean? My goodness! How frightening! I must consult the spirits. May I use your kitchen?
Sure.
There we go. Well, you spelled balls.
Maybe it's all the jars of ping pong balls in the garage.
You think that's what he's picking up?
Well, maybe the ghost can communicate with them.
Children!
What is it, Melkor?
Whose sour cream and onion Pringles are these?
Those are ours.
Could I just have like a quarter tube?
That's fine.
Really?
Well, maybe the spirits are depleting his energy.
And he needs sour cream and onion Pringles to bring back?
Maybe it's the first thing he saw. I don't know.
Where did you find him?
Just ads taped to telephone poles throughout.
And you thought that this is the guy?
Well, we needed some kind of help, you know?
There's something going through your hair.
Oh, I thought I was imagining it, but it could be a ghost.
Don't worry, children. Ouija board! B-U-B-E-E-S! Oh, what could it mean? What could it mean? I must consult the spirits once more. May I use your kitchen again?
Sure.
I got one thing out of that.
You spelled pubes?
Yeah. So we have balls and pubes.
No. Maybe it's like a puebes, like a small.
That's not even how you spell puebes. How much are you paying him?
Listen, I'll just handle it. He said it depends on how many spirits.
You don't know.
What, Melquar?
Whose pizza-flavored combos are these?
Those are mine.
Those are Alex's.
Could I just have like 2 handfuls?
No, I want to bring those as a snack for work tomorrow.
You can't, Melquar. I'm sorry, bud.
What about 1 handful of 2 hands cupped together?
It's the same thing. Just. All right. What if we agree on this? We'll give him one more chance. That'll make it.
That'll be fine. He gets one last chance.
Did you hear the window slam?
I did!
Listen now, children. This beast we must tame. Tell us, evil spirit. Oh, tell us your name. You have to listen to me.
You've made a fool of us, all right?
What?
You can show yourself out.
No, but I'm telling you, both of you, you're in danger. No one listens to the medium. No one cares when he cries. No one listens to the medium. Who will mourn when he...
Get the fuck out of my
At the Women in Comedy Festival in Boston, so we finished our first performance there, and afterwards people came up to us and said, do you know that Stephen Wright was in the crowd for your show? And we were like, you're joking. Somebody's just messing with us. And then it turns out, found out it was true. Stephen Wright, a very famous Boston comedian, was in our at the show, and he came up to us. Or no, he didn't come
Here's
up to
what
us.
happened.
Yeah.
Tim was asking Tyler's dad, like, please just tell me, did he laugh even once? If he laughed once, then... And he goes, no, he laughed a lot. Why, he's right over there. And we look over, and here's this guy in his hat just, like, fumbling through the, like, merchandise. Like, we used to give away pins and, like, business cards and magnets. And so I was just like, all right, Sarah, you have to go over there. And so I went over and I was like, hey, like he's any other, like, fan looking at stuff. And then he just, like, starts complimenting the show and, like, using their names. He's like, oh, I love the part when Tim, I think his name was, said he was Jimmy Stewart, and Tyler, I think, then in the other bit said, get the fuck out of my house. And I was just like, had this moment where I was like, Tim, Tyler, you get over here. Like, no one's gonna, we have to share this moment.
Tyler, my child, it is I, God. I understand that Satan dropped by over
Yeah.
you. Just wanted to see that you're all right
I'm
since
good.
the fallen angel came.
I won, so.
Good, my son. For you are very important in my eyes, and I would not want any harm to come to you.
Oh, thank you.
I am glad.
You okay?
Could I ask you something?
Yeah, what's up?
You've been in a fair amount of relationships, right? I don't want to bug you. It's kind of a personal thing.
No, we're here. What's going on?
Okay, I'll tell you. So I've been seeing this girl lately, and like things are going well, but She has a birthday coming up, and we've only been dating for about, boy oh boy. And I think she's going to want a birthday present, but I don't know, like, how much to spend given how long we've been dating. Well, I have some ideas. Okay, number one, and just be honest with me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A scented candle. Like a nice scented candle.
I mean, it's okay.
Well, she's 34, but I don't understand. I mean, it's not just a gift you would give to like a high schooler. I think anyone enjoys a nice scented candle.
Yeah, but I mean, a month and a half.
Okay, well, anyways, let's just move on. Number two, a subscription to Women's Health.
Oh, she might get the wrong idea.
How would she get the wrong idea?
I mean, like, why would you even...
Because I want her to be healthy. I'm being nice by getting her this.
You don't think that's a little bit cold?
I don't think it's cold, it's useful. Okay, why don't you tell me what you think a good gift is for a girlfriend?
Like a month and a half, like a bouquet of flowers would be great.
But the flowers are going to die. They're not planting.
Alright.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna go my own route on this one.
Alright, God.
Good hanging with you.
Yeah.
What are you doing after this?
Probably hanging
I'll probably be down at the do you know the bar down the street, the Cuban one?
Yeah.
I like that place.
It's good.
Yeah, I think they're open till 3, so I'll just sit there and if you want to drop by. Cool.
I don't know if
Well then, kill it, my man. Goodbye, my son. Go in peace, sir. Goodbye.
See you later, God.
You're the heart. Do you have like a big 1 or 2 moments that you remember that you shared?
Yeah, I remember the very, very first time I ever saw the Shockeys was at the Upstairs Gallery. Andrew and I did a show there, and we were both just like, "Oh fuck, dude, I have no idea how this is gonna go." This is the first show we ever did. The Upstairs Gallery was with them, and they were incredible.
Wow, that was their first show.
Well, here's the thing: they went before us.
No,
so they fucking blew.
Don't put the music before.
Oh, they did. And they blew. They were so good, and we were both like, "Motherfucker, what the fuck?" And here's the thing: they were just all 3 of them came up. They were like, "Hey, I'm Tim. I'm Sarah. I'm Tyler." And like every single one of them, it was ungodly nice. And it was like, these are the nicest people in the fucking community I've ever met. Oh my god, this is wonderful.
I was thinking about it because I can't remember the first time that I saw him, but it always felt to me like you would go to a show and then you would find out that they were also there.
Yes, every time, and then every time you got there, you're like, "Oh thank God, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great." Yeah,
I know I'm gonna have a fun time. Everything's
They're
gonna be
here.
okay.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter if there's an audience or not,
dude.
You know how that goes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but you're like, you're gonna have a fun time and you're gonna get to see those guys and hang out with
It's
them.
happened. That's the thing too. Like it's exactly that. It's just like, oh, Shockeys are on this bill. Oh, thanks. Oh, we're good. We're good. Like
we said in our opener that we don't do parodies. That is true. This is the one and only cover we've ever done, and we did it at our first show. And we got a request for it tonight. So here we go.
Do you laugh at
Hey, Barbie. You want to go for a ride?
Sure can.
We'll jump in.
I'll go. I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Life is plastic. It's fantastic. Brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. Come rock and roll through the glamour and pain. Kiss me here, touch me there, hanky panky.
You say I'm always young.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
If you walk, you can talk, whatever you please. I can act like a star, I can beg on my knees.
Come jump in, be my friend, let us do it again. Hit the town, fool around, let's go party.
I'm a Barbie girl. I'm a Barbie world. Life in
Here at Public House Theater, I came to the Star Trek 50th pre-anniversary of First Contact show, and I was just hanging out in the lobby afterwards, and Kevin Reeder's like, "Yeah, Shockey's are on after this." I'm like, what is that? And he says, "Well, they're a band. I think you'll like them." And so then this is like my 5th show, so he was very much right. So I'm very, very sad that they're gonna be done now, because whenever I can, obviously it's only been like a year and a half or so 5 I think times to see a band amount of time is fairly significant. So I'm sad that this is the 5th and the last time. Oh well.
Folks,
Maybe
it's time for something really stupid. Like really, really stupid.
The most number of people who have ever had to see this song all in one place, which is awesome.
We don't even have an intro for this one. We just go for it, right?
We usually do a lot of this is going to be very silly, so don't believe.
With that, we take you to the Emerald Isle of Ireland. It's hard eating healthy when you live next to the food court. I always want some Sbarro.
It's hard eating healthy when you live next to the food court. I always get orange chicken from Panda Express.
It's hard eating healthy when you live next to the food court. I just love me some cinnamon.
It's hard eating healthy when you live next to the food court.
The potato wedges are great and hearty.
Here we go! It's hard eating healthy when you live next to the food court. I always get me some Dippin' Dots! Hey! It's hard eating healthy when you live next to
Tyler, what's wrong? My heart! Oh, Tyler! What's
He's dead.
We're here today to celebrate the life of one Tyler O. Paterson. He was a good man, and he lived next to the food court. Now, like at any Irish funeral, let us wail for the dead.
Father Tim,
Yes, what is it, Sarah?
I didn't want to say anything in front of all those people, but I forgot to order any food for the week.
What? What's all those people out there? They're all going to want different kinds of food.
They've been crying for days, they're so hungry.
Oh, my goodness, they're all going to want things from different ethnicities, too.
And not expensive.
No.
And I'll tell you another thing.
What?
They're not going to want to clean up after themselves.
Well, of course not.
Ideally, they'd just set it down on a tree and someone else would take it away.
Where on earth are we going to get service like that? Where, oh, where? It's easy getting food when you die next to the food court. Death won't be in vain.
I really love the first part of the Obama song, you know, where it's like just like really lame, dumb jokes. Because in my mind, like, essentially they're setting up the people in that song who laugh at the beginning of it or who laugh at those jokes at the beginning to be like, oh, you guys are assholes for laughing at those dumb jokes because we were making a joke about how dumb those jokes were. And I think that kind of aggressiveness in material is so funny. It's so wonderful. And it's just like sort of a wonderful encapsulation of them. They came with us to Kansas City one time, and I got to ride in the car with Sarah and Tyler. And Tim might have been there too. I don't know if he was. But there was one time when we were listening through Spotify to clown music and like weird like Callipoli. Do you know what that is? It's like an instrument. I don't really know what it's called, but it's like a weird glass organ, and they played like circus music on it. And we had this like bit where we were just like talking about, wow, this is like really good. And we just kept on like listening to it, sort of like daring each other to do it for so long. It was so dumb, but it was so much fun.
Folks, it's time to go into our super, super highbrow material. I hope you guys have been reading the news.
Just want to thank her.
Yeah. Might go over your head. That's okay.
If you get it on the way home, at least you get it.
And this will be taped, so if you want to just rewind the same
Watch
bit.
it again. Tyler, what is this next bit called?
This next piece is called To Jimmy Stewart Sing a Song by the Counting Crows.
That was a little silly, but it is. We are gonna do some political stuff right now.
People always want to know, what do the Shocktees think about politics? Because they do a lot of songs about being 20-something, you know, like white people.
Yeah.
What political, like, we have this platform for all of you, so we're gonna do a political piece.
So this might spark some controversy, but you know.
It's our last show, so
such
we're
is
about
art,
to lose.
you know. So here we go, you guys. Obama promised us a fix. He said he'd make a change, but people are still dicks and the economy's still strange.
People ruin the sea and sky, so much shitty plumbing. Like a nervous teenage guy, oil wouldn't stop coming.
Can we fix it? Can we solve it? Can we help it? Can we fix it? Can we solve it? Can we help it? Can we? Technology is everywhere, it dominates our lives. What happened to the good old days? Tradition is alive. But we can fix it, we can solve it, we can help it, we can. No, we can fix it, no, we can solve it, no, we can help it, no, we can't.
Because we're cats.
Yeah, I am too. I know that for me, before Shockey started, I almost sold my guitar to make rent because I was working at Potbelly's for like 16 hours a week and just really struggling to get by. And a few people talked me out, like I wasn't playing as much, and then Shockey's began and I was playing every day again, so that muscle just kept getting worked and worked and worked. And I had so much fun doing it, and I could hear songs on the radio and just be able to play them. And I'd push myself, I'd listen to new songs and push myself to write different style songs, because I figured if we're going to be the best we can be, it doesn't make sense to hold back on the music aspect. Like I should write complex music as well to complement these complex jokes, or like find a style to complement what we're trying to say. And that was a huge challenge that I just loved doing and still love to do. And I've become such a better musician because of it. So confident on stage. Like I used to walk on stage in our early shows, my hands would be kind of shaky still from playing in front of people. Now it's nothing. I can walk on stage and just love every second of it. even down to recording songs and mixing songs, and everything that I've learned through Shockey's, especially through these two, like I've become a better writer. I've learned how to maximize words for jokes or for even just standard writing, how to get your point across quickly and effectively. And so I feel like everything, everywhere, like every aspect of my life has improved because of Shockey's.
I think for me, I am most proud of the fact that even if it's just for a little while, even if we were just this fun thing in the independent community, for a little while, we did our own thing. And I think people move here with the thought of a path in mind. And I think they do that too much in this city. And yeah, I did this because it was fun, and I don't regret that. And yeah, I definitely grew. So I would say, you know, to anyone watching this in the year 2050, just do what is
ladies and
fun.
gentlemen, throughout our time as a group, people would come up to us and give us just that one piece of advice that was going to put us over the top.
I mean, like, we just obviously were missing the one thing, which was usually like a very topical YouTube video with references that, you know, expire in a couple weeks.
Yes, exactly. And we never wanted to do that kind of stuff. But people would always suggest, you know, it was always condescending. Well-meaning, but condescending. So for those people, we wrote this song. Here we go.
Gangnam Style networking for the weekenders. GameStop in the name of love, song of the South by Southwest. Ender Sons of Anna keeping up with the Kardashian. 64, the love of the game of Lover Boy George of the Jungle Book. Of more money, more problems, but a bitch ain't One Direction. Of the Dead Mouse Hunt for Red October Road to WrestleMania. 12 Days of Christmas Carol, Channing Tatum, Umbrella, Ella, Team Rocket Man, River Phoenix, Sun, Suzanne, Saran, Dunstan checks into the wild, Wild Wesley Crusher, Ray, Monday Night Football-y, Woody Allen, Rick Man with the screaming brain, Candyland, down on Duran, somewhere out there will be bloodhound, Gangnam Style. Nostalgia is art, and comedy is just remembering things. Nostalgia is art, and comedy is just remembering things. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have some thank yous to do because we made it to our final song of the evening. First off, you can hold the applause until the end. There's going to be some people to thank. Thank you to, first off, all of you for coming out. Thank you to the Public House Theater and Byron Hatfield and everyone that's helping us film it and everything with the production side. Boy, we could thank so many people.
And we're gonna miss people. But I thank you to anyone who's ever pulled lights for us. And you know, come to our shows when there were like 6 people or
there were a lot of people.
They were still good.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you to the theaters that took a chance on us, like Public House Theater and Upstairs Gallery and
Upstairs
CIC.
Gallery, we did the most shows there of any other venue. So thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
I want to thank my boyfriend Sean Rose because he's been great coming to all these shows. He's just wonderful.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave you.
That's some good twee for you guys.
We're gonna leave you guys with this one. I don't know if we ever thought this would be a closing to a comedy special, but we did this show a while back where we had to write a song based on the week's events. And we picked a very particular news story. Tyler, tell them about it.
Some of you might remember this story. It was about a 9-year-old boy from Minneapolis, Minnesota who snuck onto an airplane and flew to Las Vegas to meet a friend he met via online gaming.
He lived in this airplane for like 2 days and then Catch Me If You Can his way onto this airplane. So what we decided to do was write the Act 1 closer for the fake musical about this boy. Because what else are we going to do? And look, this story is old, but we just keep doing this song. It's a lot of fun. So that being said, we now present to you what is there more?
We took some pretty heavy liberties.
Oh, yes. We took some serious liberties with this story, specifically with one character. See if you can tell which one it is. And with that, we now present to you what we call Up in the Sky, the Minneapolis Runaway Story.
Another day on Delta, the plane is not quite full, but I've got my list, so everything is whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8, 9. 8, 9. Who is this boy? He's all alone. He's not on the list of unaccompanied minors. Who can he be?
Don't need no ticket for where I'm going. I'm a 9-year-old boy with big dreams. Bigger than Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm going to Las Vegas, up in the sky.
What do? I've got to tell someone. But the captain is...
Stewardess! Where is that passenger list?
Give me some...
I'm Captain David Sinister, and I don't like to wait. I like justice and order, and I hate 9-year-old boys. There is a good reason why that list isn't in my hands.
Sir, there is a boy.
What?
He's all alone. He has no ticket. It isn't there. We're in the air.
Then there's only one thing to do. I must use my Delta pilot's right to execute this child. Where are you, boy? Do you have something to say to me, this 9-year-old boy?
Be quiet. Sit back down. He hasn't turned off the seatbelt sign.
The day you set foot on my plane, I'll strike you down with my Delta pilot's gun. You don't know what I've been through. I don't care for this story. This is my plane. This is my plane. Don't get in my way. I'll execute you too. We're up in the sky. We're up in the sky. Fly Delta.
we've talked about some dumb ones we've done. This is up there. It's a favorite of ours. It's just very silly and very stupid.
Hawaii. So, is it? Here's what you need to know about sleeping pills. is when you take them, you're not supposed to wake up within the 6 to 8 hours that you take them. Otherwise, it causes you to hallucinate and write songs like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your farewell from the show. Well, boys, did you have a good weekend at your father's lake house?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Well, what'd you do on Friday?
We swam, drank beer, and got pussy. We swam, drank beer, and got pussy. We swam, drank beer, and got pussy. Mom!
Well, what'd you boys do on Saturday?
Got pussy, drank beer, and swam. Got pussy, drank beer, and swam. Pussy, pussy, beer, beer, swam. And then we applied to colleges.
Well, did you boys have time for anything else before I came and got you this morning?
Pussy, 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 swim and swam. Beer and a little more pussy. And then Dad made